couple different concepts on being able to get a book flat. This is a library book. You don't really have a lot that's going to be down in the gutter area there. And with this carpet we've got a decent amount of compression, but we really just don't have the capability of holding that book extremely flat with whatever amount of pressure we'd want to put. Chances are we're not going to reverse this process without doing a lot of damage to the spine itself. If we do go to a magazine where we've got a lot more flexibility in the spine itself, we can put enough pressure so that we really can pull that down considerably more. And of course with these we really don't have a lot that's going to be down in that little area. Okay, now let's look at a little different concept. And one that I'm going to try to favor is actually being able to use this edge as not only a holding device but also an alignment device. We'll eventually have little reference points here that this will actually go into and work as a stopper. But when that is pushed into the spine of the book, we can now get this full page completely flat with absolutely no problem. Okay, the glass itself that was going into the spine of the book and then would allow us to be able to flatten everything out from there would actually be going and resting in one of these notches. Now these notches are actually going to be set up so that the glass through that opening would be able to push against the spine of the book, and then it would actually be able to stay in position. The base, at least what I'm proposing, would be adjustable. This is actually a photographic enlarging easel. Essentially the same concept, so that we could take whatever size book, and the book itself would be aligned on the mechanism. These would be locked down in place, so that now the side-to-side movement is completely eliminated in the process. Even while we're turning the pages, we'd have absolutely no problem being able to make sure that this book comes right back into registration. Now, as we talked about, the glass itself is going to go into the spine of the book. Now, since my prototype doesn't have the actual height nor the compression material underneath it at this point in time, I added a few extra pages there. But the glass itself is going to be able to fit down into the spine of the book, and then our mechanism here would be fixed in this position. Again, this is always going to make sure that the spine is going to stop at that position, and it's going to make sure that our page is always aligned back to that same spot. These guides on the side will be the same height that this inset would be, so that we have a nice smooth area and everything is going to lay nice and flat, and that's going to take care of our sharpness. So we have our alignment that'll be taken care of because the spine is always going to be in the exact same position, because our fixed blocks here are going to make sure that the glass always goes and stops at that particular point. The side-to-side movement is taken care of by these guides, which are very easily adjustable. The beauty of this whole system is that we will be able to align this so that when we get it onto the base of the copy stand, at that point what we're able to do is position it so that it fits directly underneath the camera, and once we have done that one time, everything for the rest of the book will run beautifully smooth. Here's just a little detail. Essentially these would be those fixed blocks that the glass itself fits into. These rails, which were shown back here on this mock-up, would actually be the same height that the glass is resting at this level. These pins themselves would be the resting points so that they would be at the same height that everything is. So this glass plate will make sure that since the book is being pushed up from underneath by that compression material, it will give us a nice, perfectly flat system. The glass itself will be held in place back here, and then when we then push it down to seat it up against these stops and get everything nice and flat, then essentially we'll have a mechanism very similar to this. It's very, very simple. It's just a spring-loaded catch, so that when the glass comes down, that catch is set up so that it pushes back and will very easily lock into place. And then when it's time to switch the pages, we simply release that latch, and then the glass itself would be able to come out. I'm proposing some type of a little stand that would actually be maybe carpeted covering, so that we could easily put that glass into place so that it wouldn't get damaged, and that it would make it very quickly accessible for the next page when that did come into play.